My wife recently bought some blackberry plants. Don't think she knew what they were really, but she was curious because the fruit looked fantastic apparently. So she's purchased some of these and has asked me to plant them. And this was kind of an unusual request for me because I grew up with blackberries in New Zealand. It was something we used to do during the summer school holidays, was grab some bags or a bucket or something and head off with a group of us to pick blackberries. And, we'd usually come back home with scratches on our arms because I've got some pretty nasty little spikes on them. And the results were always fabulous. We'd come home, sure, covered in scratches from the spikes, but we'd have all these delicious berries that we would just eat them with ice cream or sometimes as a cheesecake topping, or my mum would make the most delicious blackberry jam. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to enjoy them the same way here in Thailand. These are a modern variety. I don't know what the name is, but they have been adapted to grow in a more tropical climate. My first task was choosing a good location to grow the blackberries. Blackberries like full sun, and they also like a good well-drained soil. Full sun wasn't a problem, but the good well-drained soil was. We've got patches on our property with this type of soil, but they are well utilised already. I've chosen a location at the back of the section that gets full sun, but the soil's not great. So I'll just dig some really good size, oversized holes and top them up with a lot of the compost that we've just made. The other thing with them is that it's best to put them away from other areas of the garden because they are pretty deep rooted and the roots send out suckers as well. And I can remember the farms in New Zealand where we used to go and pick them. We used to go and just hop over fences into farmers' land and pick them, and they were considered a weed there. It was something that was not really very popular for farmers to have on their fields because it took up grazing space. And so I'll keep a really close eye on them. So I'm putting them in a location that is going to be easy to manage the roots and the suckers. In the frame, I'm starting with just putting some holes in that I am using some good solid concrete posts that I've got, because putting anything of bamboo or timber in the ground here, it doesn't tend to last so long. And then for the top of the trellis, top of the frame, I will use some of the bamboo that I've harvested this season, and I've treated it in my borax and boric acid solution. So I expect that it will last a good long time and definitely be strong enough to support these blackberry plants. Now, blackberries are a perennial shrub. They're pretty easy going, they're self-pollinating, and the canes will grow up from a crown. They don't require a lot of care, but I will have to prune them back annually because once the canes have given fruit, they will not give fruit again. So we'll prune these back, and this will just help them keep coming back year after year. So after a first year, we probably won't get much or any fruit, but after the second year, then we'll start to prune them. And as I said, this is not a plant that's grown in Thailand very commonly, so it's going to be very much a matter of experimentation and just observing the plants and seeing how they go. I've got my blackberry plants down here. I've got a barrow full of newly made compost that I've mixed in some well inoculated biochar to it, and so let's get these plants in the ground. Oh, there we go. I've got 8 blackberry plants in the ground. I will put some mulch over them shortly and give them a really good watering. And in time, hopefully we'll receive an abundant harvest that we can make lovely jam and possibly experiment with some blackberry pie or blackberry tarts and serve these lovely organic sweet treats to our guests and customers when they come here to visit us at Suansok Homestay. And if you'd like to know more about what we do here at Suansok Homestay Gardens, please check out this video next.